Hey everyone, welcome to Friday. Hope you've had a great week and welcome back to the land of low friction. All right, super busy week and day today, especially with Andrew off this week and next week for holidays. I'm under the pump on all fronts. So just going to be some fun general updates. Let's crack into it. All right, firstly, the weekend's fun, or last weekend's fun. I had a great old time. I won the XCC short track on the Friday in B grade and then backed that up with winning the XCO on Sunday, which was obviously the sort of Olympic distance. Had a titanic battle with especially Lockie here in second place. We were just pretty well neck and neck for the entire race. Ended up only just getting it by 7 seconds in the end. I think likely helping me with such a tight battle were being I would imagine, slightly lower friction. So you may note there, despite the bump off a drop there, my nice YBN Mark 12 chain. So the first aftermarket chain made for SRAM's flat top system. So that's replaced my normal T-type SRAM chain, which although that will no doubt be very hard wearing, simply is not as blisteringly fast as the Mark 12 chain. So that's been a grand old time for the racing lately. Also, I would say probably my favourite race tyre at the moment. I've just been trying them on the rear. I haven't tested them on the front yet to see what the front grip's like. But the new Racing Rick or Rick XC by Schwalbe, I think that's really quite something. So that tested super well in the bicycle rolling resistance tests. It's basically a beefed up Thunderbird, but there is a mini issue with this one. And basically, if you're looking at those, just beware of, I guess, the price and the wear life, because at like $130 a tyre, I used the first one on the rear leading up, so just doing some practice with them leading up to the States in November last year. And after literally like 60 kilometres of practice over a few days in the lead up, that tyre was like, it was not done, but it was definitely half worn, and I want max traction in a state titles race. I don't want to be putting down whatever little power I can on a power climb and do a lose traction and do a half burnout because the tire let go, where a new fresh grip tire would probably hold on. So after about 60k, like I'll be able to use that for a practice ride or two. That's about it now. I put a new one on for the XCC short track Friday, and it also did Sunday, and it's looking okay after a bit over 30k's work. Obviously, it's relatively hard work for when you're actually really racing them, but that's still not many kilometres. I will probably be able to reuse that one for the upcoming XC Marathon at O'Halloran in about a month's time, but definitely by the time that event, like it will be way done by the end of that 4-hour race. So realistically, in sort of hard XC use, you'd be going for a maximum of about 100 kilometres from one of these on the rear. And really you've got, say, 50 kilometres of your best grip. So if you're doing XC races that are about 25 kilometres in length for, say, XCO distance, you're looking at about, $65 a race just in your rear tyre to get for your best grip lifespan out of those. So not much. It's that's some free speed that's fairly expensive in the scheme of things. However, so far for me, it's worth it. I'm lucky I've got a fairly healthy discretionary spend budget on fun stuff with bikes. But just be aware of that cost if you were looking at those. They are awesome, but will not last you very long. And just for fun, you might be thinking it's a pretty nuts amount to pay for tyres, and like it is. However, mountain bike tyres actually do make quite a huge difference in rolling resistance from one to another, which a lot of mountain bike, even in sort of, I guess, your club level XC, really aren't that familiar with yet, which helps me. So it is quite often or quite easy that my tyre choice can be, say, 5 to maybe even 7 or more watts per tyre faster than what I see competitors rock up with. So I use bicycle rolling resistance testing quite a lot for my tyre selection. I like to find a tyre that has grip that I like, enough puncture resistance, and is fast. So there are the bicycle rolling resistance resources, I think, are fantastic for this type of stuff. So why would I ride a tyre that's, say, similar grip level that's 5, 6, 7 watts slower versus another tyre, in an actual race. And that's, per tyre. So quite significant. And in this race in particular, so there can be a lot of races where one's marginal gains may not necessarily help with your placing, because you might be 2 minutes behind the leader and 3 minutes ahead of the person who's coming behind you. So whether or not you were a minute slower or faster across the event wasn't going to change the outcome. But for sure on Sunday's event, where it was just neck and neck, and who was getting to the top of the next main climb before we headed into ascent, that sometimes really mattered. And when you win a XCO distance event by 7 seconds, for sure me saving, say, somewhere between 5 to 7 watts in my rear tyre, and likely an easy sort of 3 to 5 watts in my chain versus his chain, rounded off to, say, a 10 watt marginal gain saving just across those two components. Absolutely, that can sometimes come into play. For sure, that helps a lot, and was probably the difference for me in getting the win versus second on Sunday. Let's do a quick demonstration on what even just those sort of 2 bits or 10 watts added up to in my race. So this is a simple bike calculator for fun. I've used this one a bit just because it is simple. So if I've got 340 watts, which is, so these numbers are pretty close to what we had as, say, the first main climb in the lap. So about 1 kilometre with an average grade of about 10%. It sort of goes up and down a bit and has a wall that's about 20 odd percent for about 400 odd metres, but roughly these numbers come out about similar to what we're doing in the lap. So at 340 watts, 4.77 minutes, which is pretty much sort of 4 minutes 46 seconds. And if I have 10 watts less because of my slightly less optimized, if I was not running the super gear I was, 4.91, then that's basically 0.91 of a minute is like 4 minutes 54. So I'm saving around 8 seconds. That's just the first main climb. We've got 2 big climbs per lap on this course. If I round it down to 12 kilometers an hour, it's a little bit faster than that, but even at, say, just 12 kilometers an hour, that means I'm traveling 3 meters per second. So saving 8 seconds, I am getting 24 meters for free on that climb. And 24 meters is absolutely the difference between who is going ahead or behind. And that's basically per climb. So we have sort of got a couple of big ones per lap. So I'm getting, say, around a free 20 to 30 meters each climb, each lap. That really, really does help in these tight races. Yeah, so sometimes people do poo-poo the old marginal gains philosophy, but then we can just come back to basic math and physics. Every watt you save is a watt that is propelling you forwards further and faster versus just simply being lost somewhere in the system. Now, it's not going to make a difference on your training ride at the end of the day. Who cares if you do a training ride climb 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever faster without a Garmin or timing unit, and take into account other factors of the day? You will never notice the difference between if you have saved X watts in your chain or drivetrain or tyres. But in a race event, absolutely these things can really come through to help you. And there's also the mental aspect. When you know that your bike is going like silk lightning, and you can dig in because just hang on, dig in and get up there, because you've got you're not losing any unnecessary power that you have to something that you shouldn't. It is all going to pitch you in that battle. It really helps that side as well. If you feel something is dragging or not right, it really does eat away at you. I've had races where something's happened and like a caliper's been knocked out or offline a bit, and I've had really bad brake rub, don't have time to stop and fix it, and just having that brake rub there when you're in a battle, it's like, it just eats at you, because you know that you're losing precious watts going into your brake pad, and that does not help you win a battle. So there's all that sort of fun as well. It's just fun having your bike riding like silk lightning in a race event, and having a grand old time with your marginal gains that you've tinkered with in a super battle. So hopefully some of my competitors are not watching this video, and I'll have a bit more advantage in some events for a little bit longer. Anyway, sorry for extra rambling. I thought it was going to be like a 5-minute race update, rambled on a bit longer going through some of the fun, faster stuff. But yeah, that's the fun stuff we focus on here. And it's good to put some of obviously what I enjoy doing in a practice, and hopefully that helps demonstrate, if you do race, what these little differences can sometimes make, and it's just fun. And very lastly on that front, might as well while I'm here, that was race number 307. I have 693 races to go to hit my 1,000 race goal, hopefully before I'm 100 years old. All right, time to update on this, because the first time I talked about this, it had finally arrived and I was like, oh, this looks mega. And it does look mega. However, so far the installation and how things are going has been rather far from it. Let's have a look. I can't find, I keep getting this in my some of my social feeds, and it always has a banner headline of installs in 1 minute. Obviously you can't install it in 1 minute. It is quick and easy. I give them that. The installation was really easy. So once you have bolted on the clamp to the seat post, you need to install that in basically the right angle. You have a calibration of the wheel to do, which the app does quite easily, so that is good. You also then have a remote which you need to install to help with some of the control, and you need to have the magnets for your braking set up on that. All up, the first installation took me about 30 minutes. So that it was good, but 30 minutes is not 1 minute. I don't know who could do that in 1 minute, perhaps the Flash, and we potentially know somebody else for whom this would be around a 3 to 4 week job. So it paired with the app perfectly. I could select any mode that I wanted and get the nice blue tick. And so all of that looked good. The only problem was I didn't have any assistance in any mode. So I could select every mode. Everything was all connected, including the remote. Green lights across the board, just no assistance. And that is where the fun then began. Now, big part of the issue is trying to get through to them for support. That was quite difficult and lengthy and painful. So it is not a great sign when you have to basically start threatening them with that you're going to basically, I'm going to start copying, pasting a comment of how terrible all this is into every single social post and YouTube video reviewing and featuring this product, to actually get them to physically respond, which is what we ended up having to get to in the end. And then the response was pretty generic. So the first thing we had to do was a firmware update, because I gather because everyone's wasn't working, they did a updated firmware. I completed that. That was no problem. And then it, well, maybe sort of worked. But the problem then, so I could now select, say, Power Assist mode. The Eco Assist mode is taken away, so the 4 modes is not a thing anymore. There's just 3: Power Assist, Cruise mode, and Workout, which is where it doesn't provide any assistance, just drag, in case you want to get more exercise. So in Power Assist mode, now what happens is at least it is doing something, but it gives you literally like maybe a maximum of 1 second of boost, and then it shuts off for around 2 seconds. And then it gives you another second of boost, and then shuts off for 2 seconds. You might imagine that is fairly non-pleasurable to ride. It kind of feels like your e-bike assistance was designed by a kangaroo, because it's obviously just lurching and stopping. So not helpful. And at the end of the day, you have a net negative, because for every 1 second of assistance you get 2 seconds of drag. So you're still going backwards in terms of this helping you go faster, or help get you up the hill easier. It's just completely and utterly unusable. Cruise mode, which is supposed to basically give you just constant assistance, cannot select that mode. It's when you install the magnet, it goes from grayed out, where you obviously can't select it, to now it's white, same as the other modes to select. However, you can press on it forever and a day and you will not get a tick next to that mode. You just physically can't get it into that mode. So it still doesn't work. And I've still been chasing them now since that second install and update and test attempt for quite some time, and not able to get any further help from them. So that's the main issue with these companies that really annoys me, is like I get new products can have sometimes some issues, but if they're genuine, and they actually want their company and their products to succeed and provide something good to people who have spent their hard-earned money with them, provide the support. The fact that you have to absolutely just keep badgering them and threatening them with, basically telling the world that how bad everything's going, that's the only way you can try to get a response. That's just not good. And just reading some of the comments, it looks like quite a number of others are in a similar boat to myself. And so it looks like this is an overall epic fail, and the odds of us being able to get our warranty, which they do boast about their lovely warranty and support that they have for the product, is potentially, let's just say, I'm not going to bet the house on that coming through. So I really wanted to, just give that update, because the unboxing, the last update you would have seen from me was that, wow, this is looking awesome. And it has definitely not been that experience. It has been extremely frustrating. So if you were considering, please do not go forth and purchase a Livall Pikaboost 2. I will update in the future as to where we end up. Do we get a warranty in the end after all, or do we get things working? I'm going to give up on trying to get it working. I can't afford to basically think, okay, yes, this is actually working. I've already done a couple of hours hard training on a Wednesday, head down to town, get smashed for an hour and a half in kickboxing, and then be faced normally with a wobbly ride home as it is. Now to be lugging this thing up as well, if it is more or less inevitably deciding not to actually work in any mode, or not work of that's any actual assistance. So for me, it's just a complete fail, and I would like to send back and get my warranty, but we'll see how that goes. I'm talking about companies that are absolute utter garbage. Not cycling related, but we all buy stuff. I purchased this because when I do some recording or portable video recording on my phone, it is just a bugger to then be able to find that video when I plug the phone into the PC. I haven't found an easy solution to that, and don't tell me to buy a Mac. So this was supposed to enable me to just record directly to it, and away we go. So I could then just plug that into the PC. That it does not work, and I can record to it. I then just can't. It doesn't work on the PC, so that's great. The main, again, issue with companies like this is that you cannot get any support from them. So they have a support system, section, and a contact us. But no matter how many times you try to contact them or whichever way, they will not answer. So I have been emailing them and contacting them for a long time. They did actually, when I say never, they did actually respond after about a month of me harassing them every day. And they just basically said, oh, you need to install the app on the PC, which I advised them I have already done. And I had provided a print screen of it showing that no device connected, even though it's connected. And from that point, it has been months and there is nothing. So 24/7 customer service, you cannot get any support. Live chat is just, as is always the way now, live chat just means you chat to a completely and utterly useless bot. So you get nowhere other than just wasting more of your time if you try that, which is sadly becoming really common. In basically exactly the same boat, they used to actually be called Shark Geek. They've now changed their name to Shar Geek. They may be going through periodic name changes once it becomes too known that they're a heap of crap. Mine stopped working after a month, and once again, initially I did get one reply from them to say, hey, try taking it apart, press this bit in it and then put it back together, which I did, and still nothing works, and then no response ever since then. So again, there's just a lot of these type of companies that are selling flash looking stuff that unfortunately just shipping, I guess, good looking stuff that's actually complete junk inside, and you have zero support. That's the thing that really annoys me, is that that's the whole plan, is that they're just going to sell premium looking stuff, but at the end of the day, they know it's going to crap out, and they know that they're going to get flooded with a whole lot of support requests and warranty requests, and they are just not going to bother attending to any of those, and they will try to direct you to a bot that will just frustrate you further. So unfortunately, there's just a rise of so many of these companies. So my recommendation, obviously, avoid all of those companies as a start. There's other stuff that I could ramble on actually for a bit. Over the last year or so, I've been trying to get some fun stuff in a few areas, and I've had not the best success rate overall, I must say. I've lost a ton on another Kickstarter program as well. That just seems to be another complete scam. A couple of points of advice. So I know this has all been non-cycling related, but just in general, because I think we are all consumers of stuff. Number one, watch a YouTube channel called Lewis Rossman, who's probably the best in the space around just general customer advocacy. Covers mostly tech-related stuff, but some of the things he covers about some companies, the big companies that and what they get up to or try to get over their consumers or customers is shocking. And it's brilliant that somebody like him is covering this, and he does better than I would say 99.9% of people or channels that cover issues around consumer space stuff, because he has actually got through legislation that's forced changes to consumer rights and so on. He's a pretty impressive guy. But the other thing that I've had to start doing after really quite a horrific run over the last sort of 12 months or so of just buying sometimes quite expensive, supposed to be premium gear that just, when it doesn't work pretty much right from the gun, I cannot get any support or warranty at all. Is that when you see something pop up on, say, your Instagram feed, you think, that looks pretty groovy, and I was thinking about getting something in that area. I've started basically preemptively sending a support request, basically like pretending I've got the product and I'm having an issue with it not working, just to see if I actually can get a hold of somebody in support and get a response and get help, to know that there's actually a real genuine company there, not a company that is selling flash-looking stuff for a premium price, but it's just junk, and they know it's junk, and they know it's not going to work, and they know they're going to get 999 support inquiries for every 1,000 units they sell, of which they're never going to answer because they don't have any support staff resourced. It is literally the whole game is to make something that looks good, flashy on a Instagram marketing ad, and it's going to sell a ton, and they don't care that they're basically going to get a support request on all of them. And when there's enough negative comments and backlash and feedback, they just change their name, change things around, and go again on a different product. So it's a really fraught consumer world at the moment. And obviously there's a lot of stuff as well around whole video channels have done really well covering the massive issues around online reviews, especially with Amazon and other similar sites. It's getting very difficult for consumers to buy genuine products from genuine companies. So just beware. Right, back to actual work stuff. Testing work still flat out. I just wanted to give a quick update on, mostly because you're running so late on getting to Silka's endurance chip and speed chip. So I'm working really as fast as I can to try to get through the tests I've got at the moment so that I can start on those. It does, I guess, from the ZFC retail side, it hurts a bit that we haven't, or that I haven't, I can't blame anyone else, got to that testing yet to know, whether we can bring that into the ZFC store, because if somebody's looking to buy some Silka hot melt, which obviously we stock, but they also want to get the endurance chip or the speed chip, which we don't stock because I haven't tested them yet, and so I don't, that's pretty much the golden rule, is that I don't stock and recommend any lubricant products until they have been through the testing, so that I know that they are something I'm 100% happy to sell to anyone looking to buy from ZFC. It is unlikely, so at least with Silka, they do a lot of their own testing as well, especially with the work with Purdue University, and they've delivered a number of, some of the best products in the space. So concerns around their marketing claims and the data they have are extraordinarily low. But I've just got that kind of golden rule in for a reason, which I'm very hesitant to break even for the likes of Silka, because there have been the odd surprise, like, Hot Wax X I wasn't happy to stock because it was so expensive that for me it needed to be practically perfect, but with a really difficult break-in. And not that it was poor, but it wasn't as good as some other immersive waxes in the wet block in the testing. Just at that price, I wasn't comfortable selling somebody 300 grams of wax for $285 without it just knocking absolutely everything out of the park. So we never stocked and recommended that one. Ceramic Speed, who we also have a very long-term relationship with around testing for them. They do the efficiency testing for a lot of stuff that I use. And obviously we've been stocking recommending UFO drip for a long time, but the wet conditions for me, I just wasn't happy with it overall in terms of it was it becomes quite gunky quite quickly. Its wet performance was good, but for me, not necessarily enough to offset how sort of gunky, how quickly it got. And that I wasn't sure on the use case for it, because you can't really get the best out of it just applying it on your existing chain running normal UFO drip. You kind of almost needed to know my next day's ride's going to be wet, so now I'm going to want to prep my chain with this wet conditions lubricant, as opposed to, because if you just use it as your daily lube, you will have a gunked up mess. So again, sometimes things come through from testing that just make me not 100% comfortable to stock and recommend that product. So that's why I haven't yet with the Endurance Chip and the Speed Chip, which obviously hurts because people then will purchase their Hot Melt and other Silka products from stores where they can get the Endurance Chip and Speed Chip at the same time. So yeah, just so you know, that's why we haven't stocked it yet. It's just literally because I've got that golden rule in place for a reason. I really want everything to be properly fully tested before it hits the ZFC store, so that I know when you purchase from ZFC, I know the product inside out, and if it's on there, I am happy to obviously recommend it fully because we know it's a top product in its class. So I'll be getting that soon. We're wrapping up, we're getting through the Halo Drip Wax retest on Test Machine 1. And with luck, once that's done, I'll be starting cracking on the Endurance Chip and Speed Chip. So that should be coming up fairly soon, and I'll keep you up to date. And we'll have the Halo Drip Wax test update, I would say in a week or two, once I can get through the rest of that. And then I'll update around the what's happening across the other machines. And I need to still get Machine 4 build complete as soon as I can, and be able to present the updated timelines and voting for what's going to be first up on Test Machine 4. So stay tuned for that. That will do for today. Sorry, a bit of a ramble wrap. I'm out of time for any sort of doing a retake, so I got to get back to the coalface. Have a great weekend, everyone, and look forward as always to your input and comments. And I will look forward to. I'll try to get some quick updates on some things out next week. But again, Andrew's still going to be off. And it's going to be a busy midweek because we've got the public holiday on Monday. So my Tuesday inbox is going to be more fun than usual. I may not be all caught up by Friday to get another video out, but we'll see. Anywho, till the next time we speak, have a great time and stay low friction.